week we had a really good conversation with Ted Jones, super guy, excellent economist. And this week we're going to continue that conversation. We're going to talk about things like office. What happens going forward? Are people going to stay home and work? Or they have to deal with the regular bothers of being at home? Or are they going to eventually get back to the office, a more professional setting? So let's talk to Ted.
Bill, the question of what's going to happen to office space going forward is a big one and an important one in commercial real estate. As you look across the Norfolk skyline here, there are lots of buildings that are these days largely empty and have been that way since, well, really last March. And as the pandemic winds down, which we hope is going to be soon, are we going to see those people return to offices, or is remote working something that's really here to stay? Well, we talked to Ted about that, and he believes that his own office in Texas is an example of what's going to be real systemic change.
This floor of the space we rent here in Houston, it's 15,000 square feet. There are 4 of us in this space today, 4. So our social distancing is great, but you know what? Everyone is still doing their job. It was normally on this floor. They're just not doing it here. We're learning that we don't need an office space to do our jobs. That's structural change.
If that trend does stick, it will be real systemic change. And Ted is not the only one who thinks it will stick. He points to a survey that Cornet Global did of corporate CFOs. This was shortly after the pandemic started. Based on the way they were seeing remote work working, 74% said they expected to bring fewer employees back to the office after the pandemic ends. Ted's own business is an interesting example of how that can work. Normally, he's on the road quite a bit.
My office address is WIFI. If I have connectivity, I can do my job. Any place in the world, literally, and I've done that this past year. Guys, we're learning more and more of us can do that same thing.
One thing that is certain with real estate, just like life, there's always change. And the good thing about our business is there's opportunity on every side of that change. So regardless of what phase of the cycle we're in, there's always something to look forward to, something to sell, something to lease in our line of business. So next week with Ted Jones, we're going to look at those opportunities, what we should be searching for going forward. Thank you for joining us again on Face Facts. We'll talk to you next week.